I think I might become her stepdad someday. 6 shocking confessions you'll have to hear to believe. I have successfully hidden my erectile dysfunction from my last 4 partners. I have ED and I have had it for a while now. I was once 320 pounds and was on my way to a heart attack. I got ED when I was 29. My doctor said it was the result of my super unhealthy lifestyle. I asked if I could take Viagra because I had a girlfriend at the time, now ex. He said no because my blood pressure was too high. My ex had a super low drive because she was also obese, so it was pretty easy to hide it from her. I only tried to have intimacy with her when I felt like it was a sure thing that I could do. I had good days and bad days, in other words. I got on a diet and lost 60 pounds but still had it. The doctor told me now I could try V, but he said no more than 2 a week. My ex was sort of self-conscious about me losing weight and became really toxic, so I broke it off. I had no intentions of leaving her even if she remained overweight. She would always tell me she wanted me to stay fat. She was insecure and believed I'd leave her for someone skinny. It's all we would argue about. I had 2 rebounds. Both times I was unsure if we would have intimacy, and both times I popped a pill and I got lucky. They never knew nor suspected a thing. I have a new girlfriend and by this time I'm having more good days than bad, so I don't always need the pill. On days where I think I'll need it, I'll pop one. She has a high drive, so we have intimacy a lot. I'm at 230 pounds now and decided to tell her about my ED. We've been dating for 3 months. She was surprised, but she's supportive of me. She wants me to lose weight and be healthy. She doesn't want me to rely on V anymore. She started going on jogs with me to be supportive. She's helping me with meal prep. I think she's the one. My life changed for the better since I found this out about myself. Somebody replied, "It's a vicious cycle. I never had confidence issues until I got ED. That's what gave me confidence issues. Then that started to make me worry. Can I perform?" My doctor said it was a combination of both. Once I started losing weight and got to a place where V could help me, I started to build my confidence again. Once my confidence started going up, I started having more good days than bad. There have been struggles. I'm still not 100%, but I'm better than where I was a year ago and even much better than where I was 2 years ago. When I knew I was having bad days, I tried not to have intimacy, but I tell my SO that I wanted to do something nice for her. Maybe try some therapy to help you get back in the right mindset. I did it for a bit and it does help. I have lived a secret dream life for a whole year. And it's killing me. When COVID hit, I've had the opportunity to get a fully remote customer service job. I thought this was my chance to finally live my dream life. So I've moved by the ocean to Mexico. The business I was working for even prohibited the employees to fly outside Canada for travel, yet, there I was living secretly by the ocean side. It was a true dream. I lived like a queen. I was constantly happy and grateful. Doing my stupid job didn't even bother me. I've lived it for a little more than a year. Until recently. When we needed to go back to the office. I'm being torn apart. I'm slowly falling into depression, living in a concrete jungle where I'm poor and where people are unfriendly. And far away from my new beloved friends. People at my office are so happy to be back. I'm feeling like I would rather be on the streets than being there. Obviously I'm trying to find a new remote job, but it's getting super complicated since all business now ask that you go in the office on random days or ask for a tour of your home office. I've almost found one perfect remote job until they send me the contract saying that if I go outside of Canada with business equipment I could face criminal charges. Just why does it have to be like this? I just cheated on my wife. My wife and I have had no intimate life since, well, longer than not, to be frank about it. Once she found out that she couldn't have kids and had a hysterectomy, she's had no interest, and I gave up almost a decade ago after getting the cold shoulder for 2 years. So I've taken matters into my own hands since roughly 2012. She went on a girls' trip with some friends to Costa Rica. I was invited, but couldn't go due to a prior work commitment, and when I didn't go, the rest of the husbands got uninvited. I dropped her off at a moderately distant airport. The ticket was like $300 less, but it means that I'll be driving a total of 8 hours, there and back twice, and decided to stop at a locally famous strip club on my way home. At the club, I bought a dance from a dancer that I found attractive, and, for the record, looks different from my wife. She was petite and Hispanic. My wife is tall and white, and she offered to take me to a VIP room for $400, and you won't regret it. I promise, you'll enjoy it. Paychecks exist to be spent, right? Cheating? Yes. But, no regrets. If we're in different countries, and my wife was at least in international airspace at the time, I'm not counting it, especially since the last time I was made to feel attractive was in the Obama administration. Last weekend I met up with my childhood bully. I think we might be in a relationship now. It's super embarrassing, but I'm male and she's female and we're both 25. She went to school with me from kindergarten all the way through high school and always picked on me. I was a pretty small boy and she was a big girl, but her picking on me made me get picked on by everyone. I was constantly made fun of by being picked on by a girl. I was always afraid to hit her or retaliate at all because I didn't want to get into trouble. The first time I remember being picked on by her was in kindergarten. She pushed me down on the playground and sat on my chest while holding my arms down. She was stronger than me and I couldn't get her off, and even the teacher thought it was funny. Through elementary school she pushed me around a lot, always called me names, pulled down my trousers multiple times, including at an assembly in front of the entire school. She also pinned me down in second grade and tickled me until I wet my pants and cried from the shame. She kicked my balls a couple of times too. She spanked me a lot too. She was also responsible for creating the nickname that haunted me through middle school to high school. In junior high and high school she was still a lot bigger than me and would push me around or pin me to the wall. She'd call me names, knock books and other stuff out of my hands occasionally. People always said she had a crush on me, but I never believed it. She made me so miserable I couldn't ever believe she liked me at all. Eventually it kind of slowed down but never went away. We graduated and I was so happy at the thought of never seeing her again. Until I was at a bar with a few friends drinking and I was starting to get drunk and bumped into a woman and apologized, and she looked at me and right as I recognized her she looked surprised and said, "Oh hey, I thought that was your nickname." She offered to buy me a drink and said she wanted to talk. She sat down with me and actually apologized for how she treated me in school. She confessed she definitely had a crush on me and knows how she didn't handle it well and wanted to start over. I told her to get away from me and walked back to the bar and kept drinking long after my friends left. Honestly, seeing her made me upset. Well, the bartender ended up cutting me off and I gave him attitude and we got into it and he threatened to call the cops. She came up out of nowhere and talked the bartender down and told him she'd take me out of the bar. She also paid my tab. I stumbled out to the parking lot and she walked with me and said she could tell I wasn't good to drive and asked if I wanted a ride home. I said fine and we kept talking while she drove. I asked her why she was doing this and she said I was a good person, better than her, and she wanted to make amends, especially now that she'd seen me again. She had to help me walk into my apartment and took me inside and we started talking. I told her I had a crush on her too and that's why how she treated me hurt so much. She cried and said she was sorry and wished she could take it all back. She hugged me and one thing led to another and we ended up having intimacy, and not only that but she ended up staying the entire weekend at my place and talked out a lot of stuff about our past. We exchanged numbers and have gone out a few times this week, and I think I'm actually starting to fall for her. I think we're both different people now and we can move forward and leave the past behind us. Yes, she is still taller than me, and no, I will not say what my childhood nickname she gave me is. I found out that my girlfriend is married. I found out when I called her cell and a man answered. I was super confused and double-checked the number and asked who it was, and he said it was her husband, his name, and she was busy. I accidentally said damn out loud and sighed, then told him we'd been seeing each other and not once did she mention she had a husband and she never had a ring on. I apologized profusely and told him that I had no idea and we would not be seeing each other anymore. The poor guy was obviously crushed and angry at first, but he understood and believed I didn't know. I told him again how sorry I was, especially that he found out like this, and told him to feel free to tell her she and I are done when they talk, and we cut the conversation short. Later she started blowing up my phone with calls and I didn't answer. She texted me and was legitimately angry. I told her husband. I texted her back and told her she and I were done and what she did is scummy and blocked her number. I know I did the right thing and that because I didn't know none of this is my fault, but I still feel like we'd only been dating for about a month, but it still sucks. I just met her at a bar and we've only ever seen each other at my place. Because her roommate works early and needs sleep, she also never stayed the night because she needed her sleep apnea mask at home. My God, I'm such an idiot. Somebody replied, something like this happened to me about 12 years ago. I ignored all the red flags because I was infatuated with this beautiful woman. I remember I was always suspicious, so one day I took a sheet of paper and started to write down all the reasons why I suspected she was married. When I was done, it dawned on me that she was married. There was no other way, so I confronted her and she admitted to it. We broke up the same or maybe the next day. My ex-girlfriend cheated on me, so I started dating her mom. She's obviously not happy and I think I might become her stepdad someday. Her mom is a widow and hasn't been with anyone since her husband died 7 years ago. She was young when she got pregnant and is only about 19 years older than me. She's one of those older women who takes really good care of herself, and she was always really nice to me and almost flirty, but not really. I dated her daughter for about a year and we always had a good relationship, and because she was alone, my girlfriend's mom and I helped her around the house sometimes. Just basic handyman things like I fixed a pipe once and replaced her water heater for her, some basic yard work, etc. She was always very nice and always made me lunch and offered me money. I'd take the food but turn down the cash. She was a nice lady and I loved her daughter, so I wanted to make sure she was okay. Well, after I found out my ex cheated on me and we broke up, her mom messaged me on Facebook and said she heard we broke up and was sorry to hear that. She said she was surprised that we broke up because things seemed like they were going well. I told her in a gentle and not trash-talking her daughter kind of way what happened, and she said she was so sorry to hear that and disappointed in her daughter, and that if I needed to talk she was here. Well, I did, and we talked, and after a while she asked if I wanted to come over for dinner and maybe a drink or two. I got there and she fed me and poured us a couple drinks, then things got heated eventually and we had intimacy. We started dating in secret for a couple months. Honestly, I am ashamed to say I only did it to get back at my ex at first, but we ended up falling in love and we wanted to be official. We decided to tell my ex over dinner because she deserves to know the truth. She invited my ex to her house for dinner and she was shocked that I was there, of course. Her mother confessed that after we broke up we talked and started seeing each other and things clicked really well. My ex was not happy, to say the least. She called her mother every name in the book while we tried to calm her down. Then she started attacking me and asking me how I could do this when I reminded her that she's the one who did this. I was happy when we were together and she's the one who decided to cheat, not me. I told her I genuinely love her mom and want to be with her, and I wanted us to be on good terms and let the past be in the past. She ended up storming out of the house and driving away. Her mother cried while I comforted her, and she hasn't talked to her mom since that dinner 3 weeks ago. I'm hoping she'll come around eventually. Things with her mom are great though. She's the most wonderful woman I've been with, and I think this could be it. The age difference plus dating her daughter previously makes it a bit weird, but I want it to work and I think we can get there. Thank you for listening till the end. What did you think of these confessions? What about the people who wrote them? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe to be kept up to date with my daily videos.